We welcome you, dear viewers, to Noursat Satellite Channel and Telenor TV. We begin our bulletin with the following headlines. Prince Hassan, the human being, is a true capital of the world. The Orthodox Patriarchate condemns Estonian legislation affecting freedom of worship. De La Salle Frere College will celebrate its Diamond Jubilee on the 17th of this month. As another day of sorrow mingled with faith came to close, prayers rose from St. Peter's Basilica for the repose of Pope Francis's soul. The Mass carried both the groans of grieving earth and the hope of heaven. In his homily, Cardinal Claudio, who presided over the Divine Liturgy, delivered a heartfelt appeal to the faithful, echoing the wounded pulse of the East and the voice of the churches that the late pontiff so deeply loved and embraced. He urged believers to remain faithful to the legacy of those who gave their lives, not for worldly power, but for the radiant face of Christ present in the poor, the persecuted, and the forgotten. Cardinal Claudio added, just a few days ago, we stood in prayer before the body of our Holy Father, Pope Francis. Over that still form, we renewed our faith in the resurrection of the dead. Today, our hearts are still filled with hope, and our prayers continue, lifting his faithful soul to the Lord's mercy. His Royal Highness Prince Al-Hassan bin Talal, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Royal Institute for Interfaith Studies, remarked that the world is engulfed in many conflicts and hotspots of tension, a time when humanity is in dire need of a deep reassessment of its core values and shared principles. His statement came during a conference held in Amman titled Christians in the Arab East, Aspirations for Unity and Enlightenment, attended by numerous bishops, clergy, and church representatives from Jordan, Palestine, along with religious, political media, and civil society figures. Prince Hassan highlighted historic moments of fraternity, recalling how both Muslim and Christians in Jordan welcomed hundreds of Christian families fleeing from Mosul, and how they opened their hearts to those arriving from Bosnia and Herzegovina. His beatified Patriarch Theophilus III, Patriarch of the Holy City and all Jordan and Palestine for the Greek Orthodox Church, also addressed the gathering. He noted that Christian presence in the Middle East faces profound challenges due to the ongoing conflict and displacement, factors that have contributed to the reduction of Christians to no more than 4% of the population. The Patriarch emphasized that the Church continues its mission steadfastly, not only serving its members, but also offering essential services to hundreds of thousands of both Muslims and Christians alike. The conference featured numerous addresses stressing the importance for protecting the Christian presence in the region amid the challenges facing this vital component of society. The Orthodox Patriarchate issued a statement expressing its concern over a new law passed by the Estonian parliament that obliges churches to sever ties with the Russian Orthodox Church. The Patriarchate considered that this decision would negatively impact a large number of believers in churches and monasteries across Estonia. It reaffirmed its firm stance on the right of all people to worship in safety and freedom, emphasizing that there is no justification for using faith and religious practices as weapons among peaceful believers. The Jerusalem Patriarchate appealed to the Estonian government to reconsider this law and called on the Orthodox Church to strengthen the spirit of dialogue and renew its invitation to engage in conversations based on understanding and reconciliation. His Excellency Bishop William Shomali, Latin Patriarchal Vicar for Jordan, presided over a festive Mass at St. Joseph Latin Parish in Ader, Karak Governorate. During the celebration, he administered the sacrament of First Holy Communion to 23 boys and girls from the parish. Upon his arrival at the church, Bishop Shomali was welcomed by the parish priest, Father Salem Lolos, along with prominent vicars and members of the parish community. A scout band played welcoming tunes as part of the reception ceremony. In his homily, Bishop William Shomali spoke about the importance of the Holy Eucharist in the life of the believer and the deep spiritual role it plays in strengthening faith and bestowing divine grace. At the conclusion of the celebration, which was attended by several priests, nuns, families, and parishioners, commemorative gifts were distributed to the children receiving First Communion, followed by a group photo to mark this special spiritual occasion. The gathering concluded with a reception in the parish hall, where attendees extended their congratulations and personally greeted the bishop in appreciation of his blessed first visit. In Bethlehem, His Excellency Bishop Bulos Marcuzzo presided over a festive Mass at St. Catherine's Parish Church, joined by Father Rami Asakriye, the parish priest, and Father George Haddad. During the liturgy, 8 boys and girls from the parish received the sacrament of First Holy Communion and Confirmation. The celebration was attended by several priests, deacons, the students' families, and a large gathering of the faithful. At the end of the event, commemorative photos were taken with the students and their families. As part of ongoing exchange visits between pastoral councils in Jordan, the parish of Christ the King in Al Misdar hosted the pastoral council of St. John Baptist de la Salle Church in Jabal al Hussein. They were welcomed by the parish priest, Father Sleiman Shobash. The visit began with a guided tour of the church and its shrines, along with an overview of its development since the founding. The visitors then prayed the rosary for the intention of the late Pope Francis and for the successful election of the new Pope. This was followed by a fraternal gathering in the parish council hall, where spiritual and pastoral experiences were shared and the challenges faced by each parish were discussed. The Bible Society held its annual General Assembly meeting under the chairmanship of Father Dr. Ibrahim Dabour, who in his opening remarks thanked God for the blessing of stability and the spirit of fraternity that Jordan enjoys under the wise Hashemite leadership. During the meeting, Secretary General Munder Naimat presented a detailed report on the Society's major programs and services over the past year. He noted that more than 161,000 individuals benefited from its services, in addition to over 245 churches, public and private institutions, and civil society organizations. The participants emphasized the importance of the Bible Society's continued spiritual, social, and cultural mission and affirmed their commitment to strengthening partnership with churches and local community in service to the nation and for the glory of God. His Beatitude Yusuf Absi, Patriarch of Antioch and all the East for the Melkite Greek Catholics, celebrated the divine liturgy for the repose of the soul of Pope Francis at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Dormition. He was assisted by a number of priests from the Damascus Diocese and attended by a host of bishops from Damascus, official and diplomatic delegations, and a large crowd of faithful. In his homily, his Beatitude stated, Pope Francis was not traditional, neither in his ministry, nor in his thoughts, nor in his way of life. He was a man of God who sought to discern and fulfill the will of the Lord through listening to the Holy Spirit. In doing so, he followed an unusual path, one that some understood and others did not. He gained the respect of all, as many saw in His Holiness a man of the Church, a father and a leader who loved the faithful and sought to gather them under the wings of the Church, just as Christ Himself intended. To mark the declaration of this year as a Jubilee Year of Hope, the Latin Patriarchate organized a spiritual pilgrimage to the Universal Church in Rome for a group of 70 participants, including students from the Galilee and their chaperones. Accompanied by spiritual guides, the youth formed a community walking together on the path of faith, guided by hope and inspired by the Holy Spirit. During this multi-day journey, the youth experienced the profound sorrow felt in Rome following the death of His Holiness Pope Francis. The pilgrimage included spiritually enriching visits and offered a true encounter with the heart of faith. The young participants came to see the Universal Church as a living mother and felt the presence of God in every detail of the journey. They returned to Galilee carrying the torch of hope and a renewed thirst to share the good news of the gospel. The Pentecost of a Nation conference, organized by the Catholic Episcopal Committee for National Formation, concluded in the city of Aleppo, Syria, held at the Theater of the Catholic Christian Education Society. The event featured a keynote speech by Father Antoine Frege, coordinator of the committee, who emphasized that the Christian presence in Syria is a fundamental pillar in the national identity. He highlighted the historical participation of Christians in building the Syrian state, their role in resisting French colonialism, and their contribution to enhancing Syria's cultural identity. Participants presented a vision of the historical relationship between Muslims and Christians in Syria, warning against the challenges that could lead to sectarian conflicts. The three-day conference featured a series of social and political lectures, cultural activities, and heritage exhibitions. It also included the honoring of influential figures and the screening of a documentary film showcasing the Christian presence in Syria over the past 2 millennia. On the occasion of International Midwives' Day, the Palestinian Ministry of Health stated that the midwives in the Gaza Strip are living under complex and catastrophic health conditions due to the ongoing Israeli aggression. The ministry added that the deterioration healthcare situation in Gaza has severely impacted medical services providers, including midwives, many of whom have lost their homes, been killed or injured, or lost family members. The ministry called on the international community to protect healthcare facilities and workers in Gaza, especially on a day when the world recognized a crucial role of the midwives, who make the difference between life and death for hundreds of thousands of pregnant women and infants around the globe. On the 17th of this month, De La Salle Frere College in Jordan will celebrate its Diamond Jubilee, marking 75 years since its establishment. The college commemorates this occasion with great joy, reflecting on its rich history in Jordan and around the world. De La Salle Frere is one of the oldest and most prominent academic institutions in the kingdom, with 148 branches worldwide across Arab, American, and European countries. The college boasts a legacy of graduates that includes ministers, senators, parliament members, business leaders, and active citizens across diverse fields. And with that, dear viewers, we have come to the end of our broadcast. Before we conclude, here's a recap of the highlights covered herein. Prince Hassan, the human being, is a true capital of the world. The Orthodox Patriarchate condemns Estonian legislation affecting freedom of worship. De La Salle Frere College will celebrate its Diamond Jubilee on the 17th of this month. For more information, please visit our website, noursatjo.org. Thank you for watching, wishing you a pleasant time, and until we meet again.